Hey everybody, I hope you're doing so well. I know these are strange times. I know we don't have content to deliver in this class, so these videos aren't, let's say, as purposeful as they might be in like a survey course or a class on the Civil War or something. But I thought I would come and say hello a few more times in this semester. I don't know, remind you that I have a face. It is currently a fairly flushed face because my son insisted on playing one-on-one baseball this afternoon, and it turns out that is a lot more exercise than 9-on-9 baseball. Anyway, I hope you're doing well. Seriously, please be taking care of yourselves. Don't be going out and unnecessarily. Keep washing your hands. Don't interact with old people who you're not already living with and stuff. Be good and helpful and healthy. That's what I wish for you. What I'd like to do today is to talk about two things. First off, the sort of where you're at and where you should be at question. And there, I would like to give you some comfort. We've got about a month left in the semester, and I want to let you know how much time that is. That is lots of time, certainly for my class. You do have a final project to do for that. There's a final paper. I believe it's 5 to 6 pages, 5 or 7. That's not a research paper, right? So you don't have to do tons and tons of research. You're doing probably the bulk of your research for me about this week. So that's got to be encouraging. I hope you should be done with that probably by the end of this week, which is great. And you've got to do the interviews. And I know that some of you are stressing out about interviews, and I understand that. That's difficult. But the truth is, it'll probably turn out okay. Almost certainly, in fact. But I would encourage you to be in touch with me. If what you're trying isn't coming through, email me, and I will usually have some suggestions for you. And you should try those suggestions or let me know why they don't work. And then see if that works. And then if it doesn't work, come right back to me. This is what I'm here for. This is my job, and I expect you to come tell me about problems you're facing, because that's how I can help you, is by knowing that you're facing problems. So that's what I would say about that. Fear not. Keep in touch. If you can do the interview, do it. Try and do it by phone. If the person lives in your home, then do it in person. But otherwise, seriously, I'm not going to have you give someone the coronavirus simply to complete an oral history with me. So speakerphones work perfectly well with almost all recording devices. You hold up a speakerphone and then you keep another recording device right next to it. That's as low tech as you can get, but it almost always works. All you have to do is test it and make sure that it works, but it really should. So that's your first step. Okay, second, the thing I'd like to talk to you about is historiography, and I've received a couple of them from you already. Most they are due Wednesday, April 1st, April Fool's Day. What are you gonna do? You gotta make things do sometimes. And I just kind of want to sort out again, for those of you who already know what you're doing, then feel free to switch me off. Truly, that's totally fine. But if you need to remind yourself what a historiography is, here's the idea. The general idea is that you are in a conversation with other scholars about your topic. So if your topic is the history of cupcakes in America in the 20th century, and you'd be shocked what an interesting topic that is, then you need to see what other scholars have said about the history of cupcakes in 20th century America, and then you need to put yourself into conversation with those scholars. So that's kind of the difference between an annotated bibliography and what I'm asking you to do. An annotated bibliography says, other scholars have studied stuff and I'm going to learn from them. And a historiography says, other scholars have studied stuff and I'm interesting, and what I have to say is worth using to test what they have to say, to test their ideas, to push them further, to contradict them, to validate them. So that has essentially 3 steps. The first step is define your topic. I understand you're interviewing people, but figure out what the through line is there. Make sure that you know what you're talking about. If you happen to be interviewing bakers and you think it's about cupcakes, great. On the other hand, it may be that your baker friends tell you that it's really about, I don't know, muffins, which is obviously a completely different category. So see what your topic is, and then, also in step 1, go research it. Find them on JSTOR. Go on JSTOR and ProQuest Research Library and figure out what scholars in 25 plus page articles, give or take, if they're 15, fine, what scholars have said about cupcakes in the 20th century, or whatever your topic actually is. So that's step 1. And then step 2 is lay out what those scholars say. Ideally, you categorize them. So one set of scholars thinks that cupcakes are delicious and that they represent all that is good about America, and the other set of scholars thinks that cupcakes are fine, but obviously inferior to brownies. That second set is obviously right. There's no question about that. And then you say, okay, one set says cupcakes number 1, the other set says brownies number 1. And then, step 3, you insert yourself into that conversation. So you say, but my source, the 2 people that I interview, help us understand that the new thing will be cupcakes made out of brownie batter. Okay. So what I've just said is not completely appropriate, because what they suggest is that it's really all about opinion, right? Some people like cupcakes, some people like brownies, some people want to mix the two. What they're really going to say is, here's what this tells us about America. Here's what the Vietnam War says about what what was happening in America at that time. Its leadership, its civilians, its military, you name it. And other people will say, no. Here's what the Vietnam War says about America, or here's why the Vietnam War happened the way it happened. And then you will insert yourself into that conversation. So that's the general idea with historiography. Your due date is Wednesday, April 1st. If you don't get it to me Wednesday, April 1st, I don't care. Doesn't bother me at all. You will get an email from me saying, hey, I didn't get your historiography. That is me checking up on you. That is me attempting to make sure that now that we're not on campus and we're not seeing each other every 2 days, that you're okay, and that you don't need help, either on your papers or because you were stuck under something. So that's all. I'm not trying to scare you or anything like that. However, if you can get it done and get it to me Wednesday, April 1st, then you're done with it, which would be nice. Okay, so that's what I got. I will send out another one of these late this week or early next week to talk about some stuff that's coming up. But other than that, send me emails. Let me know if you're doing okay. Let me know what you are struggling with, and I will stay in as much conversation with you as I possibly can. Thanks so much.